Welcome everyone, this is Joy of Joy Morris Beauty, and in this video I'm going to be creating a smoky eye with the Morphe Neutral Territory Artistry Palette, and this is specifically for someone with hooded eyes. So if you have hooded eyes like me, then go ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so I did my eyebrows in another video. If you want to check that video out, then look in the description and check that one out. But right now I'm going to focus on eyes. So I try to keep my eye routines really simple as someone with hooded eyes. It's always frustrating when you go to get your makeup done, you have hooded eyes, because sometimes some makeup artists can get upset, and not all makeup artists know how to define a hooded eye. So it's definitely something I had to kind of learn and figure out on my own as the years went by. But I'm going to go ahead and show you, some tips today. Okay, so one of the first things that you can do, if you have a hooded eye like I do, is just to kind of put a little concealer. And you don't have to do this. This is not mandatory, but it may help just to kind of define the space that you're working with. But just to put a little concealer on your eyelid. Let me see, I wish I'd used a lighter one. I'm going to put a little bit of a lighter one too, just to mix in my two Tartes together that I typically use. And let me mix them really quickly. Okay, so I'm just kind of blanking out my eye space. And it's kind of going up underneath my eyebrows. And I'm just kind of, I just cleaned up my eyebrows and filled them out and everything. But I'm just kind of putting this concealer on my eye to give me a nice clean canvas to work with. It helps the eye look to look a little bolder when you're starting with that nice clean bright space. All right, so let me do the other one too so that I can make them both look the same. So remember when you do this that you don't want any harsh lines. No harsh lines. It looks a little good to have like a little bit of a crisp line right in the beginning of your brow, because that does help to define your brow area. So I'm going to pull that up a little more, but those little subtle things make a big difference in the look of the brow, the look of the length of the brow, the look of the width of the brow. But you don't want to necessarily have any harsh lines. You want to kind of blend that out. So we'll work on that. The only place that I have a little bit of a line, I would say, is kind of right here in the beginning. That kind of looks good to define that. And this color is, here I used my two Tarte concealers. So one is deep and the other one is medium tan neutral. So I kind of blended them together, but then the darker one is kind of towards the front, which is more close to my natural complexion. So a trick that I use with my smoky eyes, this is an old school trick. Okay, this is an old school trick. So one of the tricky things about having a hooded eye is you don't know where to put the eyeshadow. Then sometimes when you put it on your eyes and you open your eyes, you can't see it. It's just kind of frustrating, right? So we all have our brow bone right here, which is kind of that bone right above, where your lower eyelid is. But when you have hooded eyes and you have all of this excess skin right here, you can't see it. You can't see your lower eye or anything. So it can make it a little more difficult to define your eye looks. So a trick that I've been using for a while is to use, and people use different things, but I like to use masking tape. So I just kind of define my eyebrows, and then you saw me just use the concealer. So I'm going to take a piece of masking tape, and I'm going to go from the end of my eyebrow to the bottom of my eye. So I have this whole area right here that I'm going to be working with. So this is going to be my space. So this, in combination with some matte eyeshadows, will help to create an illusion of depth and kind of give you that smoky eye, even if you do have hooded eyes. You want to be careful when you use the tape. Don't get too close to your eye because you don't want to injure your eye. So you see I have this little bit of space also too, because I'll be putting some eyeshadow up underneath my eye. So just be careful of that. Also, I've seen some people use Scotch tape. I do not recommend that because it's very sharp. So, you know, it's very sharp. You don't want to put anything sharp near your eyes. So masking tape is a bit softer. Just using a little bit of my Cover FX and N85 just to kind of clean this area, kind of set the concealer, so to speak, even though Tarte doesn't necessarily need that. Just putting a little bit on there. And then I'm gonna start with, I think, this color right here. This bottom middle color looks like a nice kind of caramel tan color for women of color. So I'm gonna start with that one. I'm gonna roll my brush in it. Tap off the excess. And then I'm gonna start on the outer edge because wherever you lay the brush first is where the most product picks up. And then I'm just, I know my brow bone is right here. So I'm just kind of creating, you know, recreating what I would do if you could actually see my lower eyelid. And then I'm starting on the outer edge and I'm pulling that shadow inward. Okay. And I want to make sure that, you know, with my eyes open, that you can see the shadow that I'm putting down or shadow that I'm laying down. Okay. So that was that bottom middle color. And I'm just kind of, I'm going in one direction. I'm just kind of slowly pulling it over. Okay. I'm going to probably, let me see. Yeah. Just kind of pulling that over a little bit. Let me put a little more, roll my brush one more time. Let's see. Okay, so this is actually my very first time using a Morphe eyeshadow, and it's actually kind of pigmented. It's nice. It's going on nice. It's blended nice. You know, you can see, let me see, I'm going to get a clean brush and then just kind of blend between the color and then the top part of my brow, which is not bare because it has the concealer on it and it also has that Cover FX on it. So I'm just kind of blending between those two so I don't have too harsh of a line right there. And that'll be kind of my very subtle highlight. Let's see. Okay, so and this is my plain eye that you can use for comparison's sake. So yeah, even though that looks kind of lighter, you know, when you put it on, it, you know, might end up looking a little darker. So that's one color that we'll lay down. Now, the next one I'm going to use is this next one up. So I'm going to use this brown up and then kind of blending the two colors together. I'm going to use the same brush, just kind of tap out the excess and just kind of roll this brush in here. So stepping up that color one more time. Okay, and then I'm going to go underneath where I put this, and now this, I'm actually going to lay this color down kind of in my crease. I do have a crease, you just can't see it, but just at the very base of my brow bone. And I'm going to start on the outer edge and roll my way in and take that, and I'm taking that to the inside of my eye and just taking that, rolling one more time in the color, in the palette. And just taking that color a little deeper. Kind of building on top of what I already laid. And I'm going to get my clean brush again and then just kind of feather the product. Okay, because I don't want any harsh edges. So I'm just kind of feathering that. So taking that a little deeper, you can see. I'll do one more pass, building that up. You can see kind of like that gradual build. And then the clean brush with no product. And then you're slowly just kind of buffering any harsh lines away. Okay, that's two colors. All right. The third one that I'm going to use is this black. So we're going to be careful with the black because black eyeshadow is a beautiful thing, but it can turn into a mess really, really quickly. So we want to be careful here, okay? I have learned my lessons with black eyeshadow. There are some beautiful black eyeshadows out there. One of my favorite black eyeshadows is from NARS, but since I'm using this palette, I'm gonna go ahead and just go with this black one that they have right down here. And I'm gonna take, this is my double-headed eyeshadow brush from Sephora. I love this brush. I love this brush. I have several of these. I'm probably gonna get another one. They're so easy because you can just see me kind of flipping back and forth and flipping back and forth. Makes me feel like the artist that I am. So here I'm just gonna pat some of the black on the brush and then tapping any excess off. It's not a lot, it didn't pick up a lot. So I'm gonna close my eyes and then I'm gonna put this black on the actual lower lid that I have. So and I'm just gonna pat some a little bit and just kind of see what I got. Kind of see what I got there. Okay, pull that back. Okay, so that's showing up a little bit. So I'm gonna pat a little more, tap a little more, and put a little more down. All on that lower lid. And then just kind of blend a little bit. So I got 3 colors, technically 4 colors. The Cover FX was the first one that I put up here. Then I had that tan, then I had that brown, then I had that black. You don't have to really do more than that. Like I said, I like makeup to be simple. I like smoky eyes as a person with hooded eyes because it gives me like this sultriness and this definition to my eye that can be hard for me to create other ways. And then I like to keep things simple because in real life, I don't really have a lot of time when I get ready. I'm rushing all the time, so I don't have all that time. So this to me, in terms of keeping this eye simple smoky eye for someone with hooded eyes, this is what I would do. Okay, so I would also kind of finish it underneath, which I'm going, let me see, I'll put a little bit underneath just so you can see, because whatever you have on the top of your eye, you want to kind of have a little bit of that underneath your eye so that you know, there's kind of like a mirroring taking place between the upper part of your eye, or I should say the top of your eye and the bottom of your eye. So I have not laid down any concealer or anything like that. I think I can work around it, but I'm gonna take that middle color, that brown, and just kind of tap the edge just with this little bitty kind of like edge brush that you can use, this little bitty brush that you can use to just kind of define up under the eye. And then I'm just going to kind of dot up under the eye a little bit. Okay, and then that, it looks weird when you don't have any makeup on, but it's one of those finishing techniques that pulls the entire eye together. So trust me, trust me on it. It's more of a finishing technique. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my, let me see, my favorite eyeliner of the moment, which is the Sephora Retractable Waterproof Eyeliner in the color Matte Black. And see, just so you can see the two smoky eyes together. Let's see. And then I'm just going to kind of smudge it on my lower line. Not doing a cat eye or anything like that. I just want some eyeliner on. Okay, you can smudge this a little bit before it sets, and it stays all day. I have cried with this on. It's a great eyeliner. So I'm just kind of getting it between the brow hairs to make sure that's nice and dark. Then I'm going to put a little bit kind of underneath my eye. And I'm going to smudge that quickly with the other end of this little Aliexpress brush. I'm going to smudge that just a little bit. And I'm not going all the way into the inner corner of my eye, because you want to be careful when you use black eyeliner when you have small eyes like mine, because you don't want to close your eye off. So I don't want to do that. Okay. All right. And these are the Ardell Demi Wispies, which is kind of my thing right now. I love the Demi Wispies for those of us with my eye shape. They're the best. They look great. They're not too much, because I don't like to kind of do anything that's like quote unquote too much. So I'm going to take this off. They give a lot of definition to the eye. They help to control, like give the shape of the eye, like a nice cat eye. It's really nice. So I'm going to take one off, and I have my, trying out the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. I've been trying it. I like it. Okay. And then I have my eyelash applicator utensil, which I'm trying to get used to after so many years of just getting through it with my with my fingers. And then I'm just gonna put that on. So just kind of, it's hard for me to put on lashes because my eyelashes are so curly. So this, I always kind of struggle a little bit with putting on my lashes on myself, to be honest with you. So if you struggle, you're not alone. You know, they have so many different ways to put on lashes. Now they have all those magnetic lashes and things like that. I haven't tried those yet. I'm still kind of working old school with my old school glue. But yeah, I have really coarse hair, and I have really curly eyelashes, and it makes it really difficult to put on lashes. So if you struggle like me, you may want to pick up some of these, because it makes it easier to kind of get in there so that your lashes kind of sit down. So you'll see, you know, I don't put it on perfectly. You can kind of see I got some glue on my lid and things like that. I don't put on my lashes perfectly. I'm not a perfect person. When you're putting it on yourself, that's kind of tricky. So, so that's there. But the nice thing about this glue is that it dries clear. I'll use eyeliner, and you want to do it a little sparingly, but just at the actual base. And this is the Wet n Wild H2O proof eyeliner. I have gotten clowned by professional artists for using this eyeliner, but it's one of my favorite liquid eyeliners. I've used it for years. It has not failed me, so I continue to use it. But you know, just at the very base, you just kind of want to wiggle like some of the liquid eyeliner right at the base, and it's helping to kind of mask the difference between you know, the base of the lash line and your actual lashes. You could also paint you know, the eyelash strip, the base of it black before you put it on. I usually don't do that. I usually just kind of do this on the back end, and then it gives, it's like super black, and it gives a very strong black base to the smoky eye. So that's kind of one of my finishing techniques that I use, and that'll dry and everything, but that's pretty much the eye. And then for the reveal, take this masking tape off gently. All right, so you can see with me using the masking tape how it created this beautiful kind of shape up. So it's kind of a very crisp, clean shape up. Let me see, my eye is so creasy in that area. Let's see. Looks like I still got a little bit right here. I still have to put on foundation and everything, but so I'll clean the rest of my face up. But you can see how it just kind of lifts my whole eye area up, just to compare one eye to the other eye. Here, let me just take the tape off so you can see.